talking about what I seen on the internet, which was controversy about Creflo Dollar being mad that Pastor Geno Jennings called him out. I mean, now Geno done called a lot of people out. And first, before we get started, I'm gonna say like, comment, subscribe, share, do all that good shit. But we're gonna talk about old Geno. Actually, he's out here exposing a lot of different preachers. And I think a lot of them preachers didn't like it. I think he talked about T.D. Jakes. Now y'all starting to hear shit about T.D. Jakes with P. Diddy. I mean, he's always been out here that's like killing a lot of these Christians. Now, the brother is a Christian himself, and I only say this because me, myself, I'm not a Christian. So this is just for people that do want to believe in that Christian stuff or that Christian belief system or whatever. Then, you know, if you're following Geno Jennings and the teachings that he's teaching, if you want to follow that Bible and King James and all that, then I would recommend First Church, which is Geno Jennings. He's probably one of the most influential, plus he's also the closest pastor that I have seen that at least tries to walk somewhat to what that Bible say. Now, the Bible ain't shit to me, and the shit is just a whole bunch of allegorical stories, and it's basically a whole bunch of stories taken from the Emerald Tablets, which existed 36,000 years way before the Bible, but we're not going to get into that. We just going to talk about how Creflo and T.D. Jakes and all of these different preachers that Pastor Geno Jennings came out and he told them that it was all a lie, which I believe him too, because, you know, a lot of these preachers out here, a lot of these pastors, they got 2 and 3 wives and they soliciting with the church, and, you know, they doing all this different shit with the church. My question is, if T.D. Jakes, Creflo Dollar, and all these individuals was really doing what they needed to do for the church, why is it still homeless people out here? You know, you got all that tax write-off and you go get you a $2 or $3 million plane. Why you couldn't have helped like half your congregation, paid up people's rent for a whole year? Why you couldn't do that? So my thing is, all these preachers want you to give to their church. They want you to put into the benevolent offering. They want you to tithe at their church. They want you to do all this shit. But then when you come down to asking them about shit in the Bible, them motherfuckers can't tell you nothing. All it is about money. And God has particular favor on, I guess, those that's more of a Christian than others. Well, I mean, if I ain't a Christian and this dude over here across the street is a Christian, how's God making any kind of differentiation between me and that person over there? If we all a child of God, how's some people getting the favor of God? Some people ain't getting the favor of God. Some people getting the blessings from the Lord, then other people's ain't. I'm trying to find out if we all the same, we all fall short of the glory of God, like the Bible say. That's why I say I don't believe in that Bible, because it's a whole bunch of malarkey, a whole bunch of stories. But if that's the case, why isn't it none of that shit in that Bible makes sense? Somebody please tell me. It's just like they say Adam and Eve is the first 2 fucking people. How you get 8.1 billion people here on this earth with 2 motherfuckers? But then he had to destroy the world. Then he made Noah. Then Noah had to fuck his wife. And then Noah had kids. Now all these motherfuckers go inside of this damn ark. Now how the fuck he get all them animals in the ark? Lions, tigers, bears. How you get all that shit in the ark? Why did the gazelles not get ate up by the lions? But they eat out there when they on their everyday plains of Africa or wherever they are. How the birds is flying around. You know what I'm saying? What the fuck is the fish doing? Why the fish ain't there? Where's all the excrement that's at this fucking boat with all these animals shitting and pissing? Where's all that stuff going at? Why the boat ain't floating? I mean, sinking. You got all this extra weight in this big ass boat. If you go and look it up, 40 cubics high, 40 this, 40 that, go mathematically put all that shit together and you'll see that the boat was really not that big to get all those fucking animals on there. So what my question is to all of the people that want you to be Christians, I need to know, why is every story that's in the Bible a lie? Why don't none of that shit make sense? Why ain't it never no truth in her? Okay, well, for all of y'all that said Adam and Eve, let me go tell y'all something. Go look up Lile. I think it's Lilith or Lilt. Fuck, I forgot what it is. Go look up Lilith. You know what I'm saying? I don't gotta be particular. Maybe this society need to go look up some shit for themselves instead of everybody having to tell you everything. In order for you to know something, you probably need to go look that shit up for yourself. So go look up Lilith if it's just Adam and Eve. Because there's some information that says that Lilith was Adam's first wife, and she didn't want to do whatever it was that he wanted her to do, so he got rid of her and went and got Eve, for all you fucking Christians. So I'm trying to find out about this Eve and Lilith and all of this other shit. If Cain killed Abel, you know, and Cain had to go out into the wilderness, like the Bible said, it said this motherfucker found his wife. Wait a minute, if Adam and Eve was the first, and then Cain came, and then Abel came, or Abel came, then Cain came, and then they did all this shit, and then all of a sudden when Cain killed Abel, it said he had to leave from his family, and then from there, it said Cain found his wife. How the fuck this dude find his wife if these are the only two people that was on the earth first was Adam and Eve? It's a contradiction in there. Just like the Bible said that, you know, heaven and earth will pass away, but God's word won't return void. So why are you people trying to get to heaven if that shit gonna pass away? Don't make no sense. Or the fact that you say that this here, we're made in the image of God, but this is flesh. So if God is a spirit, how the fuck is he looking like this? When they say he's made in our image, this image is not a spiritual image. It's a fleshly image. See how ignorant people are when they don't sit there and read and understand what's going on, or even explain to you about all of the fucked up parts in the Bible? Does anybody ever take into consideration about any of that shit? Or do they just say, we're gonna go with it just because they said it? Like, why you can't ask questions? If it say the truth gonna set you free, and why you can't answer no questions to set these people free? I believe that it would be more Christians in the world if you Christians was to be able to explain why y'all want people to come serve a God that y'all still ain't got to correct y'all own lives over. He's still working on y'all. But all in the Bible, he did everything in an instant. He healed people in an instant. He turned water into wine in an instant. And that, by the way, y'all didn't know that was Jesus' wedding. Because if you read the scriptures, it never said what wedding perception he was at. It just spoke about him. No, I ain't yelling, brother. Don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. Ain't no yelling over here. I'm in a quiet room. See that? And it echoes. So, with that echo, that's what happens. I'm sorry, Jesus. Who is Jesus? Who is that? They didn't even use J's in the language back then, so who's Jesus? I'm trying to figure out. They didn't even use J's in the language back then when this so-called Jesus was there. So, like, who is Jesus? Who is that? What did he do? What did he do? Jesus? What did Jesus do? Oh, that WWJD, that what would Jesus do? Is that what you're saying? I'm neither. I would probably morally want to be a teacher than anything else. You know, preachers they got them everywhere. They got TD Jakes, you got Creflo Dollar, you got Jesse Duplantis, you got Joel Osteen, you got all these people that can sit there and lie to you all day. But me, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna tell you the truth. There's nowhere in history that speaks about no Jesus. It's funny that you can find stuff that was millions and millions and millions of years ago. Fossils, ancient people, bones. I ain't found nothing about Jesus though. No sculptures. None of that. No sculptures to show who he is. No, but they got stuff to show pyramids, and you can go to actual museums and see bones from stuff that existed millions of years ago or thousands and thousands of years ago. So if a Bible only existed, what, 2,000 years ago? How does that have any relevance on that? When they tell you, when you're looking on the National Geographic Channel and they tell you, 38,000 years ago when dinosaurs was here. Well, wait a minute, hold on, wait a minute. Wait a freaking minute. If you telling me that this world is only 2,000 years old and dinosaurs existed all these thousands of years ago, something got to make sense. Yeah, there are. Churches ain't got no actual artifacts. Where they from? What church? Because indigenous people never did religion. You can Google that right now. Religion is man-made. There's never been a time nowhere that it shows any truth behind that. So I can make up anything at a church. You got people out here now that's the LGBT, whatever the alphabet group, you know what I'm saying? No shade thrown here. But you got the alphabet group. I am indigenous. You know what indigenous means? Don't call me black, because this is black. There's people in the Middle East that looks more darker than me. So if you're going off of color, it's motherfuckers that's darker than me. So you tell me, am I this color? Do I look this color? Where's the origin of black? Where's the language black? What's the country black? Thought so. Anyway, so with these preachers, they be telling all these people these lies. Okay, here's a good one for all you Christians that's tapping in. You say Jesus, he created Lucifer, right? Right? Well, if Jesus just created Lucifer in heaven, and heaven is supposed to be eternally perfected, and God doesn't make no mistakes, how the devil mess up? I like that. Am I native? Yes, I'm native to the land. Yes, I am native to this land. I do have family that is. Hello, how you doing? I guess there's. Who's that? Hello, I can't see. Is that Rachel? How you doing? But yeah, I would say I'm indigenous because my family is Creek Nation, tribal Indian. They also are, don't know what tribe because all the information like that is hidden and lost. So people of, which I want to say black, which is not no actual country, it's not an actual nothing, it's just a color. So our race is the only people that really don't know where we came from. Because the only people that's going to have that information is the slave owners and slave plantation people that's going to have that. Because if you try to find your history, people that's indigenous will never find their history. You can look up white people's history. You can look up Middle Eastern people's history. You can look up anybody's history. But when it comes to us, you have a hard time trying to find the history of who we are. Because once they were taken from these so-called boats, I love you too, thank you so much. And when you was taken from all these boats, how do you know what's what now? Like nobody's really authentic no more. Like if I was on that plantation with my family back in the 1500s and slave owners was raping our women and doing other stuff and sending people over here, how am I supposed to be this color and I got Creek Nation Indian blood in me? That's what I'm saying. Everybody is intermixed. So after the slavery separation came, nobody's full blood nothing. Now, maybe before they came and enslaved people, you might have had a better chance of some real, authentic, 100%. I don't even know what the fuck you would call it. You know, if they was from Africa, I guess you could call them full Africans or whatever. But look, man, I done had kids with a woman. And if that woman is not the same as me, then we done made a whole different species of people. Their children got Creek Nation, and children got whatever they mama got and whatever I got. So they will no longer be considered full-blood indigenous or black or whatever you people want to say. You know what I'm saying? Like once you mix the genealogy, it's not the same no more. So that's why people say, stay within your own race. You know what I'm saying? That's why people say that. So with that, staying in your own race, it only just tries to strengthen that race. But if you was on a boat and you got sent somewhere else and the slave owners told you to serve Jesus, I mean, come on. Let me tell y'all something. Go check this out. King James, his auntie or his great aunt or it's something like that. You go check it out for yourself. Is Queen Elizabeth. She let John Hopkins use her boat. He led the first Atlantic slave trade. And guess what the boat's name was called that John Hopkins used from Queen Elizabeth, whose nephew is King James, who all you Christians say that y'all so devoted to. And I don't know if y'all knew that King James was I can't say it on here because I might get banned, but he was you know what I'm saying? So, go do your research. Look up your history. Look up John Hopkins, Atlantic slave trade, and you tell me what that boat was called. It's called Jesus. You know what also is else? What else is funny to me? How, can I say niggas on here? Because, I mean, the world use it. You hear it in the rap music. You hear it when you stop at the light. I even hear white boys playing music and the shit say niggas. I hear when people argue with each other, fuck you niggas. They say all kind of nigga shit, so we just gonna stick with the nigga shit. So, my thing is that cracks me up with this whole movement is that, you know, us niggas, we ain't never gonna be able to have shit for ourselves because we always gonna be thinking of something about religion and Jesus. Let me tell you something. You know who God is? Yes, he was. King James was. You can go look him up. He was a well-known, renowned author who wrote plenty of books. So for all you Christians that think King James, and you also need to know that King James is also the person that translated all that Greek and all that other bullshit into English, which makes even further more sense because what is the language that they taught niggas to learn when they got over here? It cracks me up that so much history is right before people's eyes, but they choose to think they know it all instead of reading. And that has always been mind-blowing to me. It's only a group of people that know it all, but not know nothing. So my question is, why do niggas like Jesus so much? Is it because they came off that slave ship, Jesus of Lubbock? You think that could be it? You think that's why they like Jesus so much? Because if a slave cannot read, how the fuck is he gonna know what you saying to him? What kind of comprehension does a slave have if he can't read? So if you go tell that motherfucker that it take 5 quarters to make $1, and he can't read nowhere to figure out that mathematical formula, guess what that stupid motherfucker gonna think? It take 5 quarters to make $1. Oh yeah, you Christians that's not anti whatever. Y'all say slavery is gone and shit like that. Yeah, hell yeah. What's that? Because it was. Yeah, but you know what? You got to do like me. I had a grandma who was wrong because, you know, it's saying in their Bible that women ain't supposed to be preachers. So my grandma said that she was a preacher. It took a lot for me. Like, I'm telling you, it was a whole changing. Like, I still find myself sometimes fucking praying over my food. Like, man, what the fuck is I'm praying for? Like, I don't pray over my food. Just like, what's I'm praying to a God for that knows everything? Think about that shit. While you sitting here praying, which is actually casting a goddamn spell because you're trying to make the universe give you something that is not in orchestration of what the universe is gonna do. So you're throwing a spell out into the world for the universe to do what it is that you want it to do. That's what a prayer is. Because if God knows that your lights is about to be cut off, why you got to pray to him to ask him to cut them back on? I'm trying to figure that out. Why do you pray about something and he's already going to know the answer? So what you praying for? Like, don't he know that your light's about to be turned off before you? So you mean to tell me that he couldn't give you no strength and peace and say, look, today your light's going to be off, but my grace is sufficient. That be cracking me up. Yeah, I know. This ain't even no hydrating water. This water make you heavy, man. You want to know what real water is? H3O. Cucumbers. Watermelon. You know what they try to tell niggas. They try to make fun of niggas and saying us drinking watermelon when that's actually the best alkaline food that we can actually eat. It gives us so much power because we are gods ourselves. But see, they ain't going to tell you that. They want to tell you that it's a God in the sky somewhere that's going to come down and help you with all your sins and do all that other stuff. You know what I'm saying? And that's not really what's going to happen. It's really not. It's not. You know what I mean? I could start a church today right now if I wanted to. You know what the church would be called? Give the people their money back. All them hard-earned mamas that's working and looking for the Lord to bless them, give their money back. Pay their bills. Pay their rent. For the mother of the church who's been tithing her money since she been at that church for 40 years, you need to give her money back. Because all of the stuff that mother of that church wanted and how she was to devote herself to this church, she needs to have something. I don't think it's fair that we have to go into this so-called church, pay all these tithes, but the church can't help you pay your bills, can't help you pay your car note, help you pay for your children's prom, help you pay for your family if they sick and they in the hospital. They can't do any of that. The church ain't gonna do that for you. But they want you to pay your money every Sunday to them. But they not gonna give you nothing when you need it. That's that, and I feel like that's jacked up. I feel like everybody that's at the church, because look at the preachers. Look how nice they living in $1 million houses, $1 million mansions, driving in these extravagant ass buses and airplanes. Nah, man, you need to go pick up half the people at your congregation. Send some money that way. Pay for somebody's college tuition. You see what I'm saying? Nah, they not gonna do that. And that's why I say church ain't, you don't need to waste your money on no church. Jesus, you ain't no sinner. Let me tell you right now. I'm going to tell you why you ain't a sinner. I'm going to give you a good analogy right now. Let's say you're 17, right? Doing all of what you want to do. Living your life how you want to live it. And then you about to be 18 in like 4 days. So, and in 4 days, you're going to be 18, right? How is it now that when you become an 18-year-old individual, you're a sinner? Like just 4 days ago, you were 17. So how are you a sinner now? Like what made you a sinner? Was it the age? Because I don't never remember how people that's 17 and 18 that still holding their virginity, ain't smoking, they ain't going out and doing all of this bullshit that the Bible say that you can't do. They not doing any of that. So why are they a sinner? How did they become a sinner? You know what I'm saying? I don't know who Jesus is. I've never heard of that individual. You know what I'm saying? The only Jesus I know is the Jesus that all of the Mexicans say that their name is. Jesus. That's the only Jesuses I know. But like the ones that y'all talk about that's in the sky, I don't know that Jesus. I ain't never heard of him. There's not no tangible proof that he even exists. There's not any of that. So, you know, a lot of that type of crap, I'm not going to buy into it because it's a bunch of bullshit. You know what I'm saying? What it say? I mean, hey, man, if you believe that there's a heaven and a hell, go for it. You know, me, myself, it's not no heaven and it ain't no hell. And when you die, you just gonna die. You know what I'm saying? That's it. There's nothing left. It's nothing else. Okay, I'm gonna ask you this then, since that's the case. All y'all people say that y'all family and loved ones is in heaven or in hell, but most of y'all putting y'all family and friends and loved ones in heaven because, I mean, you know, that's just the thing to say. Question. So when you go to the cemetery and you decorate the grave and you sit there and you talk to them, who you talking to? Because I thought you said they was in heaven. So either they in heaven or they at the gravesite. But they can't be at both, can they? So I'm trying to figure out how this whole thing is a money thing. People still ain't realized it. Like, you got to pay to bury somebody. You got to pay to get memorial flowers. It's coming up right now. But my question is, if they are not there, I've never decorated my brother's grave. My brother been dead for 20 years. I've never buried my grandma or my grandpa's grave. One been dead for 4 years. The other one been dead for coming up on 3 years. I don't go to their burial sites. Why? Because they're not there. It's just where they had to place their body. But they're not there. And I'm not going to talk to them. That's me. Now, you can do what you want to do. But I'm just saying, if you're going to do something, make it make sense. So I'm told that all these people are in heaven. But if they're in heaven, how are they at this gravesite? I don't know, man. Well, I mean, you know, a lot of people hate. Nah, I have. Oh, well, what's that theory? You know what? I believe in the Anunnaki people. So, you know, all of that other theories, you know what I mean? But there is answers. Just because we don't have the answers or might not know the answer doesn't mean that there's not one. Well, I mean, you know, that's everybody. Again, good choice of theory. I like that. You know what I mean? And until we have fully dissected all of our theories, they're just theories. But if we are conscious enough to want to keep searching and finding out those truths, I truly believe that if you search for something long enough, you'll find it. You know, but I'm not the type that want to make nothing up. I just know for myself that a lot of that stuff is made up, stolen history, because people of indigenous type of lifestyle, we celebrate spirituality. We don't do religion. Religion is man-made. You know what I'm saying? So, who knows? You know what I'm saying? I agree. I definitely agree. We probably are. I bet we are. I mean, because we humans, man, we think we know what's right. We think we got the best thought process of what goes on, you know what I'm saying? And at the end, the beginning, and the middle part of the day, we really don't know, man. We just trying to swing this shit the best way we can. That's right. That's right. We'll never know the true history. Half of them got all of them tablets and all that type of stuff hidden under super duper lockdown. I don't know if any of y'all listen to Young Pharaoh, but it said that he's in the process of trying to get a lot of that information and shit back. But man, I ain't giving it up. What kind of power would the African American or black community or whatever the fuck y'all want to call it, what kind of power would our community have if everybody knew the truth about what's what? That would be terrible. You know what I'm saying? That would be fucking terrible. If we could actually have the truth. giving back to us. But the world wouldn't like that because, you know, nobody wants to feel like they superior or inferior. You know what I'm saying? So really, if they was to put that type of information out now, all it would do is cause a divide and try to say that this group of people feel like they better than this group of people, and that's not what we're saying. It's just facts. If one comes before two, two comes before three, how you gonna get mad at that? Because that's the way it go. It's just the way it go. You know what I'm saying? So that's the world we live in, where everybody got something to say, and everything that everybody say might not be something that's worth saying. So with that being said, I thank all of y'all for coming on my live, chatting with me. I hope you like, I hope you comment, and I hope you subscribe, because there's a lot more buzz that we can talk about. So tap in, let me know. Peace, love, hair grease, lay it down.